Welcome back to the next episode about the 2024 Union Budget. In our previous video, we uncovered the basics of what a budget is and gave you a sneak peek into the entire budgeting mechanism. If you haven't watched that video yet, you can catch up by watching part 1 of our budget series on the Vision IAS channel. The link is right in the description below. So today, we are going to take things up a notch and dive into part A and part B of the budget. These sections are packed with important details that you won't want to miss. So grab your notes, get comfortable and join us as we break down these crucial sections in a way that's easy to understand and engaging. Let's get started. Let's dive into part A of the budget. We'll start with the budget at a glance, which includes the receipts and expenditure for the years 2022-23, 2023-24 and 2024-25. Please have a look at the infographics for the important numbers in terms of receipts and expenditure. This year's budget focuses on 4 major castes: Krishi, farmers, Yuva, youth, Garib, that is poor, and Mahilaएं or women. The theme of the budget revolves around employment, skilling, MSMEs and the middle class, with 9 priorities in pursuit of Viksit Bharat, namely productivity and resilience in agriculture, manufacturing and services, infrastructure, employment and skilling, urban development, innovation, research and development, inclusive human resource development and social justice, energy security and next generation reforms. Now that we know the 9 major priorities, it is also important for us to understand the priorities in detail. Let's explore them one by one. The first priority is productivity and resilience in the agriculture sector. Toward agriculture research, there will be a comprehensive review of the agriculture research set up to focus on raising productivity and developing climate-resilient varieties. The government will release 109 new high-yielding and climate-resilient varieties of 32 field and horticulture crops for cultivation by farmers. For natural farming, 1 crore farmers across the country will be initiated into natural farming, supported by certification and branding in the next 2 years. 10,000 need-based bio-input resources centers will be established. Moreover, in terms of mission for pulses and oilseeds, a strategy is being put in place to achieve Atmanirbharta for oilseeds such as mustard, groundnut, sesame, soybean and sunflower, as announced in the interim budget. In terms of vegetable production and supply chains, large-scale clusters for vegetable production will be developed closer to major consumption centers, and the government will promote farmer-producer organizations, cooperatives and startups for vegetable supply chains including collection, storage and marketing. Digital public infrastructure for agriculture will be facilitated in partnership with states, aiming to cover farmers and their lands in 3 years. A digital crop survey for Kharif using DPI will be taken up in 400 districts. Details of 6 crore farmers and their lands will be included in the farmer and land registries, and issuance of Jan Samarth-based Kisan credit cards will be enabled in 5 states. For shrimp production and export, financial support will be provided for setting up a network of nucleus breeding centers for shrimp broodstocks. Financing for shrimp farming, processing and export will be facilitated through NABARD. Lastly, a national cooperation policy will be implemented for systematic, orderly and all-round development of the cooperative sector. Now let us move on to the second major priority, that is employment and skilling. The Prime Minister's package includes several initiatives. Firstly, under the Employment-Linked Incentive Scheme A, targets first-timers entering the workforce in all formal sectors, providing 1 month's wage to all persons with a salary of up to Rs 1 lakh per month. Direct benefit transfer of 1 month's salary up to Rs 15,000 will be given in 3 installments to first-time employees registered in the EPFO. Scheme B focuses on job creation in the manufacturing sector. It is linked to first-time employees in manufacturing sector. It links incentives to both employees and employers for EPFO contributions for the first 4 years. Employers must refund the subsidy if employment ends within 12 months of recruitment. Scheme C supports employers by reimbursing EPFO contributions up to Rs 3,000 per month for 2 years for all new hires with salaries up to Rs 1 lakh per month in all sectors. New employees under this part need not be new entrants to EPFO. For skilling development, a new centrally sponsored scheme, that is the 4th scheme in collaboration with state governments and industry, aims at skilling 20 lakh youth over 5 years. 1,000 industrial training institutes will be upgraded in a hub and spoke arrangement with an outcome orientation. Another comprehensive scheme provides internship opportunities in 500 top companies for 1 crore youth in 5 years, with the 12-month Prime Minister's internship offering a monthly allowance of Rs 5,000. The Model Skill Loan Scheme has been revised to facilitate loans up to Rs 7.5 lakh with a guarantee from a government-promoted fund. Education loans will provide financial support to youth who have not been eligible for any benefit under government schemes and policies. The financial support for loans up to Rs 10 lakh for higher education in domestic institutions will be provided. E-vouchers for this purpose will be given directly to 1 lakh students every year for annual interest subvention of 3% of the loan amount. With this, let us now move on and talk about the third major priority, which focuses on inclusive human resource development and social justice. This includes a saturation approach for all-round inclusive development of people, particularly farmers, youth, women and the poor. This approach covers all eligible people through various programs, including those for education and health, will be adopted to empower them by improving their capabilities. Purvodaya Vikas Bhi Virasat Bhi plan covers endowment-rich states in eastern India covering Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh for generation of economic opportunities to attain Viksit Bharat. This plan also includes Amritsar-Kolkata Industrial Corridor with development of an industrial node at Gaya. Under the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act, financial support of Rs 15,000 crores will be arranged in financial year 2024-25. The completion of Polvaram irrigation project will ensure national food security, while infrastructure like water, power, railways and roads in Koparthi node on the Visakhapatnam-Chennai Industrial Corridor and Orvakal node on Hyderabad-Bengaluru Industrial Corridor. Moreover, the PM Awas Yojana aims to build 3 crore additional houses in rural and urban areas. For women-led development, more than Rs 3 lakh crore is allocated for schemes benefiting women and girls. Adding to the benefits, the Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan aims to improve the socio-economic conditions of tribal communities, covering 63,000 villages and benefiting 5 crore tribal people. Additionally, more than 100 branches of India Post-Payment Bank will be set up in the Northeast region. Concluding the third major priority, let us now understand about the fourth very important priority, which focuses on one of the most important sectors of India, that is manufacturing and services. For this, the government has laid out comprehensive support measures for MSMEs. The introduction of a credit guarantee scheme for MSMEs in the manufacturing sector aims to facilitate term loans for purchasing machinery and equipment without the need for collateral or third-party guarantees. Public sector banks will develop in-house capabilities to assess MSMEs for credit, reducing reliance on external assessments. For the credit support to MSMEs during stress period, a new mechanism will ensure the continuation of bank credit to MSMEs. Mudra loans will see an increase to Rs 20 lakh from the current Rs 10 lakh for entrepreneurs who have successfully repaid previous loans under the Tarun category. Providing enhanced scope for mandatory onboarding in TREDS, the turnover thresholds will be reduced from Rs 500 crore to Rs 250 crore. SIDBI will expand its reach by opening new branches to serve all major MSME clusters within 3 years and provide direct credit to them. Adding to the benefit, financial support will also be provided to set up 50 multi-product food irradiation quality and safety testing units in the MSME sector. Additionally, e-commerce export hubs will be established under public-private partnership mode for MSMEs and traditional artisans to sell their products in international markets. For the promotion of manufacturing and services, 12 industrial parks will be sanctioned under the National Industrial Corridor Development Programme. Investment-ready plug-and-play industrial parks will be developed in or near 100 cities in partnership with states and the private sector, utilizing town planning schemes. In terms of rental housing, dormitory-type accommodation for industrial workers will be facilitated in PPP mode with viability gap funding support and commitments from anchor industries. Moreover, the shipping industry will see ownership, leasing and flagging reforms to increase its share and generate more employment. Additionally, a critical mineral mission will be set up for domestic production, recycling of critical minerals and overseas acquisition of critical mineral assets. Offshore mining of minerals with the auction of the first tranche of offshore blocks mining, building on the exploration has already been carried out. Digital public infrastructure applications will be developed for areas such as credit, e-commerce, education, health, law and justice, logistics, MSMEs, services delivery, and urban governance. An integrated technology platform for the IBC ecosystem will improve outcomes under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code for consistency, transparency, timely processing, and better oversight for all stakeholders. The services of the Center for Processing Accelerated Corporate Exit or CPACE will be extended to reduce the closure time for LLPs. Additional national company law tribunals and debt recovery tribunals will be established to handle the increased caseload. Well, that was all about priority 4. Now come with me as we talk about the 5th priority, which focuses on urban development. Here, the government will work with states to develop cities as growth hubs through economic and transit planning and the orderly development of peri-urban areas through economic and transit planning, and orderly development of peri-urban areas utilizing town planning schemes. For the creative brownfield redevelopment of existing cities with a transformative impact, a framework will be formulated to enable policies, market-based mechanisms and regulations. Transit-oriented development plans and strategies will be formulated and implemented in 14 large cities with populations above 30 lakh. Under the PM Awas Yojana Urban 2.0, housing needs of 1 crore urban poor and middle-class families will be addressed with an investment of Rs 10 lakh crore. In partnership with state governments and multilateral development banks, projects and services for water supply, sewage treatment, and solid waste management will be promoted in 100 large cities through bankable projects. Building on the success of the PM Swanidhi scheme, a new initiative will support the development of 100 weekly huts or street food hubs each year for the next 5 years in selected cities. Lastly, in terms of stamp duty, states will be encouraged to moderate high stamp duty rates for all and consider further lowering duties for properties purchased by women. Now, having addressed the key aspects of priority 5, let us now move ahead and take a look at the 6th priority, whose major focus is the energy security. For the energy sector, the government is focusing on balancing employment, growth, and environmental sustainability through a new policy document on energy transition pathways. As a positive effect, in line with the announcement in the interim budget, the Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana aims to install rooftop solar plants enabling 1 crore households to obtain free electricity up to 300 units every month. A pumped storage policy will be brought out for electricity storage and facilitate smooth integration of renewable energy into the overall energy mix. Research and development in nuclear energy is expected to form a very significant part of the energy mix for Viksit Bharat. Towards that pursuit, our government will partner with the private sector for setting up Bharat Small Reactors, research and development of Bharat Small Modular Reactor, and lastly, research and development of newer technologies for nuclear energy. There will also be a roadmap for transitioning hard-to-abate industries from the current perform, achieve and trade mode to an Indian carbon market mode. Additionally, to support traditional micro and small industries, an investment-grade energy audit of traditional micro and small industries in 60 clusters, including brass and ceramic, will be facilitated. Moreover, this scheme will be replicated in another 100 clusters in the next phase. With priority 6 covered, we now turn our attention to priority 7, which emphasizes on the infrastructure, which is currently seeing a significant push with the central government allocating 3.4% of GDP for capital expenditure. The state governments will receive Rs 1.5 lakh crore in long-term interest-free loans to support infrastructure investment. Private sector investment in infrastructure will be promoted through viability gap funding and enabling policies and regulations with a market-based financing framework to be introduced. Moreover, the Phase 4 of the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana will launch, providing all-weather connectivity to 25,000 rural habitations. Financial support will be provided for irrigation and flood mitigation projects such as the Koshi-Mechi intrastate link in Bihar, and assistance will be extended to Assam, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Sikkim for flood and landslide projects. Tourism will be developed comprehensively, focusing on the Vishnupat Temple Corridor, Mahabodhi Temple Corridor and Rajgir, with additional support for Nalanda as a tourist center and the revival of Nalanda University to its glorious stature. The government will also assist in developing Odisha's temples, monuments, craftsmanship, wildlife sanctuaries, natural landscapes and pristine beaches. With the insights gained from priority 7, it's time to embark on priority 8, which covers one of the most vital sectors for India's development, that is innovation, research and development. For this sector, the government plans to focus on the operationalization of the Anusandhan National Research Fund for basic research and prototype development. Additionally, a financing pool of Rs 1 lakh crore will spur private sector-driven research and innovation at a commercial scale. In terms of space economy, venture capital fund of rupees 1,000 crore will be set up to expand the space economy by 5 times in the next 10 years. Having delved into the transformative aspects of Priority 8, let us now turn our attention to our last priority, that is the 9th priority, which talks about the next generation reforms. Here, the government aims to establish a robust economic policy framework that sets the stage for facilitating employment opportunities and sustaining high growth. This involves incentivizing reforms to improve productivity and efficiency across markets and sectors. Land-related reforms by state governments will cover land administration, planning and management in both rural and urban areas. These efforts incentivize for completion within 3 years through fiscal support include the assignment of unique land parcel identification numbers or ULPIN or Bhu Aadhaar for all lands, digitization of cadastral maps, surveying map subdivisions according to current ownership, establishing land registries, and linking to the farmers' registry. In the land sector, the urban areas will see digitized land records with GIS mapping. In terms of labor-related reforms, they will integrate the e-Shram portal with other platforms, creating a one-stop solution for the labor market. This includes open architecture databases for evolving skill requirements and job roles, connecting job aspirants with potential employers and skill providers, and enhancing compliance ease for industry and trade through revamped Shram Suvidha and Samadhan portals. Capital and entrepreneurship reforms will be driven by a comprehensive financial sector vision and strategy document to meet the economy's financing needs, focusing on size, capacity, and skill. The taxonomy for climate finance will increase capital availability for climate adaptation and mitigation, supporting the country's climate commitments and green transition. Legislative approval for a variable capital company structure will facilitate efficient financing for aircraft and ship leasing and pooled private equity funds through a variable company structure. Simplified rules for foreign direct investment and overseas investment will be simplified to facilitate foreign direct investments, nudge prioritization, and promote opportunities for using Indian rupee as a currency for overseas investments. Moreover, the NPS Vatsalya, a plan for contribution by parents and guardians for minors, will be started. In terms of technology, the government will accelerate the adoption of digitalization across the economy, enhancing the ease of doing business through the Jan Vishwas Bill 2.0. States will be incentivized to implement their business reforms action plans and digitalization efforts. Moreover, the improvisation of data governance will utilize sectoral databases established under the Digital India Mission, with active use of technology tools for better data collection, processing, and management. Lastly, a revised solution for the new pension scheme will be developed to address relevant issues while maintaining fiscal prudence to protect the common citizens. With this, we conclude the detailed explanation of the budget priorities for 2024-25, aiming for a Viksit Bharat through comprehensive reforms and strategic initiatives. Now that we have thoroughly covered Part A of the budget, it's time to move on to Part B. This section focuses on the budget proposals for indirect and direct taxes, reflecting a comprehensive approach to tax policy reform aimed at enhancing economic efficiency, supporting domestic industries, and simplifying compliance. The government is focused on simplifying and expanding the goods and services tax system to cover most sectors and improve the tax structure and endeavor to expand it to the remaining sectors. Additionally, trade facilitation will be bolstered by promoting domestic aviation and the maintenance, repair, and overhaul of boats and ships. To support domestic manufacturing and boost local value addition, custom duties are being reduced on several items including X-ray equipment, mobile phones and chargers, gold, silver, platinum, critical minerals, leather, textile, and marine products. Adding on to that, specific custom duty proposals include reduced rates for X-ray equipment, mobile phones and chargers, gold, silver and platinum, critical minerals, leather and textiles and marine products. Moreover, exemptions have been introduced for cancer medicines such as trastuzumab deruxtecan, osimertinib and durvalumab. The manufacturing of resistors, ferronickel, blister copper, ferrous scrap and nickel cathode, 25 critical minerals, capital goods for solar cell and panel manufacture and inputs for shrimp and fish feed manufacture. Having wrapped up our discussion on indirect taxes, let's now shift our focus to direct taxes. A comprehensive review of the Income Tax Act 1961 is underway with significant reforms introduced in the new tax regime. Notably, 58% of corporate tax revenues came from this regime in the financial year 2022-23, and more than two-thirds of taxpayers have adopted the new personal income tax regime in 2023-24. The standard deduction for salaried employees has increased from Rs 50,000 to 75,000, and the deduction on family pensions has been enhanced from 15,000 to Rs 25,000. The revised tax rate structure aims to further simplify and rationalize tax obligations. For charities, two tax exemption regimes will be merged into one, and the tax deducted at source rate has been reduced on some payments and e-commerce transactions. The 20% TDS rate on repurchase of units by mutual funds or UTI has been withdrawn, and credit of tax collected at sources will be given on TDS deducted from salary. Additionally, decriminalization of delays in TDS payments is being introduced. Simplification measures include reopening assessments only if escaped income exceeds Rs 50 lakh and the case is between 3 and 5 years old. Simplification and rationalization of capital gain taxations has been revised, with short-term gains on certain financial assets now taxed at 20% and long-term gains on all assets taxed at 12.5%. The exemption limit for capital gains on financial assets has been increased to Rs 1.25 lakh per year. Digitization of taxpayer services will be pursued over the next 2 years. In terms of litigation and appeals, the Vivad Se Vishwas Scheme 2024 aims to resolve income tax disputes, and monetary limits for filing tax appeals have been increased. Safe harbor rules will be expanded to reduce litigation and provide certainty in international taxation. In terms of employment and investment, the angel tax has been abolished to support the startup ecosystem, and a simpler tax regime for foreign shipping companies operating domestic cruises has been introduced to boost cruise tourism in India. The corporate tax rate for foreign companies has been reduced from 40% to 35%. The tax base will be deepened with an increase in the security transaction tax on futures and options, and income received from share buybacks will now be taxed. Social security benefits include an increase in the deduction of expenditure by employers towards the national pension system from 10% to 14% of the employee's salary, and non-reporting of small movable foreign assets up to Rs 20 lakh is depenalized. Other major proposals in the finance bill include the withdrawal of the equalization levy of 2%, expansion of tax benefits to certain funds and entities in international financial services centers, and immunity from penalty and prosecution for Benamidars on full and true disclosure under the Benami Transactions Prohibition Act 1988 to improve conviction rates. The budget also provides insight on Rupee comes from, which includes borrowing and other liabilities takes up 27%, income tax 19%, GST and other taxes 18%, corporation tax 17%, non-tax receipts 9%, union excise duties 5%, customs 4%, non-debt capital receipts 1%. With this, it also provides insights on where the money goes to, which includes state's share of taxes and duties 21%, interest payments 19%, central sector scheme excluding capital outlay on defence and subsidies 16%, defence 8%, subsidies 6%, finance commission and other transfers 9%, centrally sponsored scheme 8%, other expenditures 9%, and pensions 4%. With this, we wrap up our deep dive into this year's budget. We have navigated through the key highlights and implications, understanding how these financial decisions impact every facet of our lives. As always, staying informed is the first step towards being empowered. Thank you for watching this analysis by Vision IAS. For more such insights, stay tuned.